Hello, thank you for joining VRS Fleet Products live webinar, Improving Fleet Safety. This is the business case for driver monitoring systems. My name's Lori. I am joined by Steve Fiorentino and the VRS Fleet Products team. It's a little bit about VRS Fleet Products. They're located in Phoenix, Arizona, one of my favorite places, and they specialize in accident prevention products. Steve's got over 23 years in the industry. He has some additional team members online with us today that are on standby to answer any questions that you might have to make this an informative and educational and worthwhile webinar for you today. A little bit about me is I've been in the fleet telematics space for about 3 years. So while that is a short period of time compared to Steve, what's really interesting is that when I joined the space and the industry, it was right when AI was really getting its legs and becoming more than just a buzzword in the industry, but really becoming an effective tool and an effective product within video telematics. And just in the past 3 years, it's been amazing to see how that has advanced and grown and really does a fantastic job of bringing more value to you as a fleet operator, a safety manager, or a business owner, and really gives you more robust features and benefits of the product. And I'm really excited to talk a little bit more about that as we get into it. But I want to just introduce Steve and then bring Steve on for a brief moment to go ahead and introduce his team as well, so you know who is here on the VRS Fleet Products team to support you. So Steve, welcome. Please join us and give a little introduction of the other folks that are joining us today.
Good morning, Lori. Thank you very much for the introduction, and we're excited to get this rolling. Online with us is Mike Murphy, who is the general manager, and Mike has a lot of background working with fleets and even handled a large fleet himself as a fleet manager. Also, we have Destiny Fiorentino, who is online. And Destiny is our office manager, and she can answer a lot of questions pertaining to product and shipments. She kind of handles everything around here. So it's very exciting to be involved in this, and we look forward to doing this with you. Thank you.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get into the importance of fleet safety, because that's what you're all here for today, to learn a little bit more about fleet safety and how you can use fleet safety products to really move the needle on the safety measurements and metrics that you have in place for your fleets. So the importance of fleet safety has led to a demand for advanced technology such as AI, telemetric data, and digital video systems. So why does fleet safety matter? So just a few of the fleet accident statistics is that fleet accidents cost businesses billions annually in damages and downtime, resulting in thousands of injuries and fatalities each year. And our passion and our purpose really is to provide fleet managers, operators, companies, and business owners with products that mitigate against those risks and really not only save lives, but make business more effective and efficiently run. So some statistics is that there's an average of 4.5 accidents per driver per year. When you think about that, that sounds like a really big number. So this is taken from the trucker.com, and the 4.5 accidents includes everything from minor scrapes, little fender benders, to more serious accidents. But the average professional commercial driver reports 4.5 accidents every year. And the commercial accident rate is 20%. And the number one contributing factor to these accidents within commercial vehicles is distracted driving. That's from Fleet News. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how we can use the AI tools and the technology that's available to you today. And we're so excited to share it with you to help you understand that there are tools and products and services available that can help you reduce distracted driving within your fleet. There's a so the average increased operational cost is $16,000 to $75,000 in increased operational costs due to fleet accidents. And this is things such as repairs, insurance claims, administrative time, downtime for your fleet, substantial amount of cost, especially for small businesses. And then from a commercial litigation perspective, the average commercial litigation claim costs a business between $406,000 to $449,000. So what's that, about $430,000 on average for a commercial litigation claim. So serious costs in going to litigation when it comes to an accident. And this is why fleet safety matters and why we're so passionate about preventing accidents from occurring. So just want to do a temperature check in this room. If you could go ahead and find your way to the chat section of this presentation. And I'm wondering, just so we can tailor the conversation a little bit, who here has had a fleet accident or litigation or potential litigation for your fleet? You can just go ahead and go into the comment section and just let me know if this is something that's impacted you and your business. If it's something that you're concerned about. If it hasn't impacted you yet, that's amazing. Let me know if it's something that you're concerned about. So now, while you're doing that, just another little fact and statistic is that between 2012 and 2019, the number of cases with verdicts over $1 million increased by 335%. So again, while that average litigation cost from commercial accidents is in the $400,000 to $450,000 range, if it goes to litigation to a court case, that has increased by 335%, where these verdicts are being awarded for well over $1 million. So again, what we want to do is show you ways that you can deploy telematics and video telematics, hardware, software, tools, and services to protect you and your company and your drivers. All right, so in the chat, yeah, we see a couple people have had some potential accidents, false claims. Using this would be great to exonerate drivers. Okay, yeah, great. So we have a wide variety of folks. Some folks have not had any, but they are concerned about it. And many folks, it seems like, have had some sort of an incident where it's cost them time and money and downtime to resolve. Okay, so let's talk about what proactive action can be taken. So there's 3 different steps that you can take as a fleet operator, fleet manager, safety director, business owner to safeguard your fleet. 3 things are: 1 is provide ongoing driver training and coaching, which hopefully and probably you're doing already, which is great. Congratulations for doing that. It's a great first step. The second thing you can do is implement real-time monitoring and alerts. And this is where telematics and driver monitoring systems really comes into play. It gives you that additional data and insight into what's happening in your fleet so that you can take proactive action. And then the third step is implementing those driver monitoring systems to consistently monitor and improve driver behavior. So we'll talk about the nuances between number 2 and number 3 and what that means in just a little bit. So we're just going to talk a bit about what are driver monitoring systems. So driver monitor systems are systems that track and assess your driver's behavior to enhance safety. The aim is to prevent accidents and improve your overall fleet management systematically. So it's more above and beyond visual going out, physical on-site checks. It gives you access from the convenience of your desktop computer or your mobile app to see what is going on with your fleet and your drivers. Some key components and functions of driver monitor systems include the hardware, the components themselves, such as cameras, sensors, telematics devices. These are things also known as like asset trackers, GPS tracking devices, dash cameras, backup cameras, backup sensors. Those are some of the components. And the functions of those are real-time monitoring, giving you access to data collection and reporting. What's key with data collection is it's not just taking data and dumping it onto your hard drive or into a report, but it's actually allowing you to collect evidence as well. So again, when we talk about the risks with having drivers and fleets on the road, is the accident rates and false claims and protecting you against potential litigation. Now having that data collection, the evidence at your repository is key. So AI technology uses AI to analyze and provide insights. One of the most common, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section if you want to go into the chat and let me know. If you're a fleet supervisor, fleet manager right now, one of the most common feedback that we get is that, yeah, going in and watching and monitoring and looking for things is very time consuming. And fleet managers are very busy, right? Would you agree? Yeah, I'm sure you would. So, what we're able to do now with the latest technology is that we're able to deploy AI, which allows the AI to do a lot of that manual work and contextualize and analyze the data and then deliver it, i.e., serve it to you in an actionable way for you as a fleet manager or safety director or business owner to take action on it. So, those are some exciting new advances that are available with driver monitor systems. Some of the additional benefits that you'll receive with a driver monitoring system is improved driver behavior. So it's the continuous monitoring that encourages adherence to safety protocols. So these are things like, I'm sure you have a seatbelt policy in place. Every fleet I've talked to, and there's been hundreds, if not thousands of fleets over the years, they have a zero tolerance for safety seatbelt use, right? You want your drivers using safety seatbelts, but yet we find time and time again that there are folks that are applying the exception to the rule and not using them. And as they save lives, we want to make sure that all of our drivers are safe on the road. And we can use things like driver monitoring systems to encourage use of safety protocols such as seatbelts and other things. Also gives real-time feedback that helps correct those unsafe practices. Like we just mentioned with the seatbelts, there's other things like cell phone use, distracted driving, eating, drinking, smoking, or driving drowsy, things of that nature as well. A driver monitoring system gives you insights. So a little story I like to tell is in a prior life, in a prior role and experience that I had, as a general manager of a company that had fleets, one of the things we would do is we would do ride-alongs. And it was our way of leadership team going out and really encouraging the drivers to see what those behaviors are, to get feedback. So we would go and just ride along. And of course, everybody's on perfect behavior when you're doing a ride along, right? But having a driver monitoring system allows you to almost like conceptually and virtually be in the seat next to your drivers while they're out on the road. It gives you that insight to see how distracted they are, how focused they are, what safety protocols that your company has in place are they following. It gives you the ability to monitor and have access to all of this from the convenience of a system that processes and analyzes the data for you. So another benefit is reduced accident rates. It just hands down, when you deploy, companies that deploy driver monitoring systems see reduced accident rates and all of the cost savings and benefits that flow through as a result of that. Really just having a driver monitoring system in place proactively reduces risky behavior. Drivers, again, their behavior is improved, and then also being able to proactively identify those risky behaviors and then coach to them and put processes in place to get those drivers to follow those rules reduces accident rates. It also gives your drivers enhanced situational awareness through the technology. So by the use of things like, for example, safe distance. If a vehicle's traveling too fast and too close to the vehicle ahead of it, there's AI technology within these systems that can do an in-cab alert to let the driver know you need to slow down and reduce speed because you're following too close for the speed at which you're traveling in the vehicle in front of you. There's other in-cab alerts, such as if someone happens to pick up a cell phone out of habit or for whatever reason, the system can capture cell phone use and alert the driver. Other things like general distraction, smoking, and drowsiness are just a handful of examples of the different technology trackers that are in place and the use of AI to detect those driver behaviors through the system with real-time alerting in the cab. Also, those alerts and events, those driver behaviors, are then analyzed and compiled within the system and delivered to you in a reporting fashion so you can then take action with your drivers to improve those behaviors. An additional benefit of the system is cost savings. Lower insurance premiums due to improved safety records. Many commercial insurance companies these days are asking if you have driver safety programs in place, if you have driver monitoring systems, if you have dash cameras and video telematics, and they are willing to offer additional reduced premiums, or they're often requiring them in some cases. So if you're considering a driver monitoring system for your fleet, it's also important that you talk to your insurance provider, your fleet insurance provider, the current one that you have, and again, at each time of renewal as well, to see if they have requirements for driver monitoring systems and or if they offer discounts or lower premiums for having those deployed. So there's some cost savings there. And then, of course, there's the cost savings from reduced expenses on repairs and downtime. So the fewer accidents, the more often your vehicles and your drivers stay on the road. You don't have to pull those vehicles out of service, pay for the repairs, and have that downtime. And then enhanced compliance and reporting, which is critical, of course, to ensuring that if your industry and your company has regulatory standards and compliance requirements, that your fleets and your drivers are adhering to those. And then also providing you with a simplified reporting and documentation process, because we know there's a lot of paperwork that often follows through in that case. And having this driver monitoring system allows you to simplify that process. So those are some of the benefits of the driver monitoring systems. And there's 3 types that we're going to talk about today, just to give you a high level overview. Just so you know, we will be having additional webinars and information sessions that do a deeper dive into each of these various components of the different types of systems and the different types of technologies. Today, we want to just give you a high level overview of the different types of systems available. So the first type is going to be a basic telematics system. These are things like GPS tracking with speed monitoring. It's entry level. It's for a use case of safety and efficiency features. Its use case really is for a fleet that wants an entry level system in place. The second is in-cab cameras and sensors and video telematics. These are things like cameras facing the road and the driver, multi-cam solutions for monitoring additional angles and or cargo, and additional sensors for more comprehensive monitoring. And then the third and most advanced system is going to be an AI-powered system. This is going to give you real-time monitoring and predictive analysis, things like facial recognition and behavioral analysis. So the basic telematics system is, again, the overview is the basic GPS tracking, speed monitoring. It's going to give you things like trip reporting, vehicle diagnosis, and maintenance alerts. It's going to give you the dots on a map. It allows you to see where your vehicles have been, the speed and direction of which they've been traveling, and GPS coordinates, and perhaps some geofencing opportunities. And some of the benefits, though, is going to give you an improved route planning and basic monitoring. So you're going to know where your vehicles and your fleet are at all times. Some of the limitations are that there's limited data and analytics and predictive capabilities. Again, the suitable use cases is going to be for companies that really are prioritizing a cost-effective solution, want to get something in place without a lot of, just very quickly, without more of an investment. The second is the in-cab cameras and sensors. These include a combination of the basic GPS tracking and speed monitoring with some additional features and benefits, more sophisticated trip reporting, vehicle diagnostics, and maintenance alerts, so you can schedule the various maintenance routines that you have and you require, can provide for additional sensors such as door opening, alarm inputs like environmental sensors. These are things, for example, if you're driving a vehicle that has to maintain a certain temperature or within a certain speed threshold. Also offers AI features like fatigue detection to more robust solutions that offer things like fatigue, distraction, cell phone use detection, smoking, covered camera. A lot of covered camera incidents happen if you have drivers that are putting their ball caps or things over or greasy fingers over the cameras to try to cover those up. We could do 2 things. One is offer the feature of a covered camera so that you're notified if the camera's covered, but we also work with you to help you put together programs and education and training to your drivers on why it's actually beneficial for them to have the cameras installed. So that's really a training and compliance issue that we work with you to increase adoption rates amongst the drivers. And we find that when we work with clients on these adoption programs, we see greater results. Some additional things are going to be like seatbelt detection to make sure your drivers are wearing their seatbelts, pedestrian detection, safe distance traveling, and more. Some of these benefits is giving you an improved insight into the contextual data. This is the driver behavior, environmental, road conditions like potholes, construction, and weather, and more critically, the behavior of the other driver, which in the case of an accident, you often don't know. It's one person says one thing and one person says the other thing. When you have an in-cab camera and a driver road-facing camera, you actually have that video evidence. And just a little bit more detail on this, a visual I like to give in this case is, if you can imagine a truck driving down the road and they're driving, heading northbound, you have the basic GPS installed and you have the heading direction, you have the GPS location, perhaps you have the speed, you know the time of day, and then you receive a shock alert. There's a G-force sensor in that vehicle, GPS tracking device with G-force sensor, and it triggers off a shock alert, a shock event. And now you know as a fleet manager that one of your vehicles potentially has been in a collision or some sort of accident. That's all you know. When you have a camera installed, it gives you this additional contextual data. So you know things like road conditions. So now if you imagine that same scenario where you know that there was an event that occurred, potential collision or accident where you need to follow up with your driver to see what the situation is, when you have a camera installed, that additional contextual data that you're going to have access to is knowing what the road conditions are. Was the street well lit? Was the street light out? Or was there good visibility? What was the weather conditions? Was there ice on the road? Was it raining, snowing, sleeting? Was there construction on the road? Was there debris on the road? What were the other cars in front of, on the side of, and potentially even in the rear, if you have a rear-facing camera? What are the other vehicles around your driver doing? And in the case of an accident where you could have potential litigation, it's very beneficial to have those cameras because, again, it's giving you that additional data collection, which is evidence and really tells the story of what happened. So you have all of the additional data to be able to determine what happened, resolve for that situation, and then move forward with more additional proactive measures in place. And then the third type is the advanced AI-powered systems. And these is a great use case. Really, it's for all fleets who want the newest technology and the most robust protection available. Some features of an AI-powered system includes real-time monitoring and analysis of driver behavior. Some additional benefits are the AI-powered data, such as facial recognition, fatigue distraction, cell phone use, and other distraction. Some of the benefits are allowing for improved predictive analysis, it's time saving, it's very robust, and gives you additional protection. Some of the limitations when you're researching AI-powered systems for advanced telematics support is just a tip to look for the AI efficacy rates. So not all AI is created equal. It's one of the things that I've really worked closely with over the past 3 years in watching AI develop and advance in this space, is that not all AI is the same. And AI is a buzzword. A lot of people are using it. A lot of people want it because it's an amazing technology feature. But what you want to really look for is what algorithms and what it's looking for and what the efficacy rates are, because you want something that's going to give you a lot of accurate results and not a lot of false positives. So how AI enhances safety is through its predictive analysis and proactive safety measures, immediately alerting your driver if you have in-cab alarms, in-cab alerts configured for your solution, and then also providing those reporting and those alerts for your safety manager, your fleet director, your fleet manager or supervisor. It really reduces the likelihood of risky behavior because you're identifying it early on and then able to take proactive measures as a result. So the business case for investing in driver monitoring systems is the cost-benefit analysis. Upfront costs offset by long-term savings. You have improved safety leads to lower insurance premiums, ROI from reduced accidents. The fewer accidents results in less downtime and repair costs, giving you an increased productivity and efficiency in your fleet. And of course, the most important, increased driver safety. One of the things, again, that we are also passionate about the VRS team is making sure that drivers are safe on the roads. We want to keep our most important and valuable assets are humans safe and sound when they're on the road. Some long-term benefits include enhanced fleet management and operational insights, giving you a sustainable culture of safety and compliance. Choosing the right driver monitor system. So you want to check for compatibility with fleet management systems. So some systems may be compatible with existing software and hardware. So if you're already using some sort of hardware or systems in your vehicle, what you want to look for when considering deploying these systems is if there's compatibility needs. And one of the benefits of working with us at the VRS Fleet team is that we are a value-added reseller on top of the offerings in telematics, and we can guide you on your needs. We have a lot of experience with the team here and can help you get from point A to point B a lot faster. One of the things we pride ourselves on is the knowledge of the industry. Some other factors to consider is your fleet size, your budget, and your very specific needs. When working with us and working with any company, we want to do a needs analysis and a discovery session to really find out what the issues that you're facing with your fleets right now, what your main challenges are and your main goals for now. And then also think about compatibility with potential existing systems as well as future scalability. So I'm going to give you an example of that. A lot of times clients and customers will go in and they want to start with just the basic system, but they might want to upgrade to having video cameras, dash cameras in the vehicle at a later date and time. We want to make sure that the equipment and the package and services, the solution that you're choosing today is going to serve your needs, 12 months, 18 months, 24, 36 months down the road. Another example of that might be is that a lot of clients just want to start with road facing cameras because they want to see what's going on in front of them to get that contextual data. They feel like they're worried, maybe potentially their drivers won't accept having a camera facing them. And we want to have that conversation with you to understand what your challenges are, because again, as I mentioned, if it comes to driver adoption, we have very successful driver adoption rates where we work with you to train your team and your staff and your drivers to understand that it really protects them. So to dive a little deeper into that, right, just to give you an idea, is if a driver has a false claim accused against them, that's when having video evidence is going to be key, right? Because commercial drivers, they don't want to put their license at risk. They don't want to put their job at risk. They're providing for their families and the livelihoods of their family. It's their job, and we want to make sure to protect that. And when we have training programs we can put into place and work with you to put into place that helps your drivers understand that if they get falsely accused of something, having the evidence there is to protect them. And also, we want to be able to remind people sometimes we do things out of habit, and it's just human nature to pick up a cell phone. When we're in the middle of a business meeting, you pick up a cell phone out of habit or while you're in the car. And really having the little beep alert is not meant as a deterrent or detriment to performance, but really as a measure of safety. But we help work with you to have those trainings and deployments put into place so that your drivers do embrace it. Again, so future scalability is what we were talking about. A lot of clients will sometimes want to just start with a road-facing camera, and that's fine. But if you think that you may want to also add a driver-facing camera at a later date and time, we want to make sure that you're choosing the right system. So we'll help you make recommendations on what pieces of hardware and what systems to choose that are going to give you future scalability and not need to replace equipment. We've seen too many clients that go with one solution upfront because they choose it without having the benefit of having a company that consults with them and provides them with a full solution with scalability in the future in sight. And then 18 months down the road or 12 months down the road, they want to add another camera and they find out that their system that they bought isn't compatible or isn't expandable. And we don't want that to happen. We pride ourselves on customer service and the getting you into the right equipment for today with the future in sight. So some product comparison, you want to look at evaluating features, including pricing, of course, user reviews, talk with experts. We are definitely here for you when you're considering a driver monitoring system. You want to think about the ease of implementation, how you deploy both the software on the office backend side, as well as how you deploy it in the field with installations. We have step-by-step deployment guides and support and provide onboarding assistance to ensure that there's minimal disruption to your ongoing operations. It's one of the things that you really want to talk about, and we want to have a conversation with you up front to understand how we're going to deploy this to minimize that disruption to you and maximize the efficiency within your business. So it's something to look for when choosing a system. And then support and training. We have comprehensive training programs, um, ongoing onboarding support, and then technical support that's located in US based, both for technical support as well as the system support. So some of these tips that you want to just look for and consider when choosing a driver monitoring system. So the future of fleet safety, where is it heading? Some of the emerging trends is, of course, continual increased adoption of AI and machine learning technologies, and also enhanced connectivity and integration with IoT devices. So if VRS Fleet Products is one of the things that we're on the forefront of all this technology. We're constantly evaluating the different technology that's available. We're very proud to offer you the newest, latest, and greatest in AI and machine learning technologies when it comes to driver safety within dash cameras and driver monitoring systems. Um, it continually evolves, and you really want to think about what you need today and what's in the future and work with a company that's going to keep you on top of the latest and greatest. Innovations on the horizon are things like advanced predictive analysis for proactive safety measures. There's so many new things coming that are going to be predictive, that help you prevent and be proactive. And that's really where the industry is going right now with the AI and all of this technology. It is not just having these reports, having these devices in your vehicles anymore, and having a supervisor or fleet manager try to decipher all this data and figure out, what do I do with all this now? Is really having these tools, this technology that does the analysis and predictive analysis for you, that then gives you actionable steps to take to safeguard your fleet. And staying ahead, continuous investment in new technologies and training. We see more and more fleet managers, operators, and business owners putting more of an investment towards these new technologies and training. It saves, of course, costs, increases efficiency, and most importantly, again, it saves the human aspect of our business. Is our most valuable asset is our employees that are out there. We want to keep them safe on the road. So collaboration with industry experts and stakeholders. So I want to take a few moments and go ahead, and we're going to move into a Q&A. I'm going to end the recording at this point for anybody who might be watching on the replay, but we're going to stay live and answer some questions for you. Thank you for being here with us today.